Okay. I know what you're thinking. Red King. I thought you said part 4 was coming out today. Or Red King. What the heck is up with that picture? Okay, answer the first one. It was gonna come out. I had it recorded. I was about to upload. I was about to end the video. And one of my siblings ran in and started. The video was. I was an hour into the video. I was doing good. No one had said my name. One of my siblings ran into my room and started screaming and hollering my name, and as y'all know, my editing skills suck. But, and if it doesn't record this, I'm just gonna post it, and I'm just gonna type it into the description. Anyway, so, since I was bored, I started watching some anime again. Considering school starts back up on Monday, which is like 2 days from now, so I might as well, start getting some stuff done. Anyway, so today we're going to be doing what if Deku was in the anime Gate. Now, the way that I'm going to do this, I just came up with this, and I still don't understand how it would work, but I'm just going to make it so. See, when, the My Hero Academia world exists around the time that the Gate appears. So, not only is the Japanese military sent in, but people with quirk, heroes are trained with weapons and sent through the Gate. And it's pretty strong heroes. So they have the Gate heroes, and then they have the normal heroes. And this is still some big freaking news. So we don't. The whole reason that everyone's freaking out about it is because, well, this has never happened before, and they could be sitting on a literal gold mine of resources. But, besides that, besides being able to transfer magic and energy and then using it to power, their vehicles and crap, I'm gonna say Izuku Midoriya was born around 18 to 19 years before this. So he's probably gonna be 18. I might make him 19 so he's legally allowed to join the army. And I'm gonna say his quirk was literally called Perfect Soldier. He could basically, a soldier? Picture the perfect soldier in your mind, okay? It doesn't matter what he's good at. It doesn't matter what. Whether it be a sniper, field medic, anything. Picture that. Now, multiply. Now imagine that soldier with the ability to copy anything. Like, say he sees someone use a minigun. Now he can use a minigun. He sees someone use a 50 cal. He can now use a 50 cal. Anti-material rifle, you name it, he can use it. He just has to see someone. Listen, if he sees someone pilot a jet, you best bet he's gonna be able to pilot a freaking jet. Alright? So, this is a little broken. And he can, his survival skills are so on point, he can probably make his own bullets if you give him enough time. He can probably get a good settlement going in about a day. That is good enough to support 100 people. Anyway, the way Izuku's going to, be transferred in is I'm going to say, he's doing, exercises. Also, this man is jacked. Like, He's Captain America level jacked. Like, this man could probably crush your skull with his hands. Like a watermelon. Watermelon crush! Anyway. So, when Izuku was just chilling, you know, he was walking through the main area. Also, he's legally allowed to carry multiple. He's legally allowed to conceal carry. If you don't know what that is, he's legally allowed to carry a gun at all times. And he has it for 2 guns. Then I'm about to, no, 3 guns. Ooh, I'm about to make this cool. Okay. So, when, you know, the gate opens, he's the first one who sees it. You know, I'm gonna say he was wearing, like, I don't know, he was just walking around wearing, like, a vest. You know, like one of those jackets that doesn't have a hoodie. Like a running jacket, you know? I'm gonna say, like a Leatherman's jacket, essentially. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. You know, he unzips it, you know, and the moment monsters and people start coming out, he's already drawn both 2 akimbo Glock 18s, or Desert Eagles. Yeah. You haven't even seen the 3rd weapon. Also, he can make his own guns, right? Now, he can alter them in any way to fit any combat scenario. He just carries Desert Eagles. Not Glock 18s, Desert Eagles, to where all it would take is like 1 shot. He always carries Desert Eagles, so he doesn't have to find materials to make a gun that could probably counter anything. Like, okay, say he needed a gun that can pierce tanks, or something with equivalent levels of tank. You know, boom, he can make it. You just gotta give him enough time. It only takes like 10 to 30, not seconds, like 10, 15 minutes, and he can make anything, essentially. As long as he knows what it is and how to make it, and he has, any resource. I'm gonna say, okay, I'm gonna make him broken out. See, he can alter matter in a way, but he can't, he can't use Momo level creation, but, if he has a piece of metal equivalent to, he has the proper materials to make a bullet, he doesn't have to. He just has to have the materials in his palm, and then he can just alter the materials into a bullet, essentially. Right? Anyway, so, give him enough raw materials, and he could probably make you any gun you needed for any situation. You need a gun that can pierce through wyvern scales. Boom! A gun that can pierce through wyvern scales. Yeah, that's essentially it. And, he can regenerate pretty freaking quick. It takes 2 headshots to put him down, because his brain, yeah. Okay, this is about to sound super weird, but he has 2 hearts, so essentially 8 valves pumping through his veins, 3 lungs, and like 7 kidneys. Yeah, that's pretty much the reason why he's so, he's so big. And, you know how your brain is? Well, he has a secondary brain inside of his brain. I know, you're like, how does that even work? That's because it does. Anyway, no one else knows about any of the extra organs, and he can regenerate these organs at will. And he has like 6 kidneys, not 7. That'd be weird. Anyway, basically, he has at least 1 to double of every organ in his body. So he probably has like 2 stomachs, 2 small and large intestines, like, except for the kidneys. The kidneys are just weird. and the liver. He has 2 livers. No, a liver and a half. A liver and a half, yes. He has a liver and then a half of a liver. No, I'm just playing. He got, yeah. So, you know, he always packed, you know. Sorry, I just thought I'd get a little bit of the context out of the way so we could just get into the what if. I was trying to speed blitz through this because it's like, oh, Happy New Year's! Crap, I forgot to say that. What time is it? Yeah, it's 2 a.m. where I'm at. My phone's gonna die here pretty soon, so I might as well just blitz through this. Anyway, Izuku's weird genetics out of the way. Also, what the second brain does is it keeps all of his organs being like, alright, brain is still active, host's not dead yet, keep pumping blood, regenerate. Also, with his second brain, he's able to process things a lot faster and have a lot more, you know, memory. You know, and you know how you only have one of every bone, right? Like you have one, you know, you have your rib cage. Well, move that down a little bit, and then he has 2 rib cages essentially that interlock with each other to make it to where it's almost impossible for anything to get through. And he has like 4 bones in his forearm, so his muscles are jacked. He looks like a human, but he's not human at all. You try to kill this man, it ain't gonna work. He's gonna John Wick you in the next millennium. Like, no cap. He would lay you out. I'm sorry, if none of this makes sense. Essentially, perfect soldier that can kill anything. He also has, like, combat knife. He has a combat knife on him, just in case he needs to. And his third weapon is a foldable anti-material rifle. And this is quite literally an anti-material rifle, because he found a way to make bullets that eat away at other materials. No, it's not acid, it's not thermite, it's a mixture of the two. It's like acidic thermite. And thermite, it's weird. The bullets are extremely difficult to make. You know, it's impossible for any normal human to comprehend how to make the bullets, but he says it himself that it's extremely complicated to make them. So yes, these bullets can pierce wyvern scales, because they're going to be wyverns. He also has them for his desert eagles, because why not? Oh man. And he also carries a surprising amount of bullets on his character at all times. Like he has, you know, the desert eagles fully loaded. I'm gonna say he basically he used Time Lord technology on clips. So a clip that would normally only hold 12 bullets now holds like 12 times that amount. So a clip that would hold 12 bullets now holds 144 bullets. That's a lot of bullets, and that's just with one clip. Yeah. And yeah. Did I also mention he can make essentially anything? Oh man, this is gonna be fun. It's gonna be really fun. And he has an on-off switch for, you know, soldier form and civilian form. The moment his body senses danger because of his second brain, it immediately switches to soldier form. You know, it draws guns, and it'll hold anything at gunpoint that seems like a threat. But Izuku can trigger it automatically in his mind and turn it off. He can turn it on and off whenever, but, you know, if he wants to, just have his nervous system automatically do it, because why not? Anyway, so, like I said, let's get back to the story. So when the freaking, what's it called, the gate appeared? Yeah, the gate, that's the name of it. Izuku, you know, he drew his guns and stood right in front of it. You know, everyone else was starting to see it, but Izuku noticed it right before it appeared. And then it fully appeared, and then it started to open. Izuku began to back up, and, you know, ooh, I accidentally punched the TV. Oops. It's whatever. You know, I'm gonna say he had the Desert Eagle clips were empty, so on his vest he clipped them and then spun them around and then, you know, got it ready to fire. You know, the moment that door opened, he started laying waste to whatever was on the other side. Nothing was getting through. Well, except for a few, you know, a wyvern got through, and he's like, dang it. Whatever, deal with it later. You know, he kept firing, and eventually he started, you know, he ran out of one clip, so he dumped it, reloaded, and then kicked the clip back into his vest, which, okay, he always wears a backpack, which has the same Time Lord technology, to where it's bigger on the inside. Oh man, I feel bad. To where he has nearly infinite amount of materials, and he can make his own money just because, why not, you know? So he essentially has infinite materials to make infinite amount of bullets, and then he has infinite ways to make different weapons that can take on anything. He's essentially an unstoppable, he's a literal one-man death machine. And remember, when he's in soldier form, he spares no one unless he was ordered to. So I'm gonna say he kept lighting them up, so they tried to close the gate, and he, you know, Izuku, you know, he clicked something on his backpack, which shot out like a bar that he threw at the gate and forced it back open. He's like, you're not getting away! You know, he kept firing, and I'm gonna say he fired at non-vital spots, just vital-ish, to where they got hurt, but it wouldn't kill them. You know, he also, you know, while he was firing one-handed with one of his guns, he clicked an earpiece in his ear and is like, requesting backup. This is his soldier number rank, which he is one of the highest ranking soldiers. Just because, you know. And when this happened, all of the Tokyo you know, all of Japan's military, their heroes started coming towards the gate, which Izuku, you know, had pushed them back into it. He's like, you know, when their wiring flew out, then I'm gonna say he grabbed a suitcase that was on his, you know, that he held his hand out on his backpack, and then his anti-material rifle appeared, and he's like, you know, one-handed, boom, and he says bang, right as he pulls the trigger, and then the bullet, you know, it hits the wyvern, it instantly drops. It just goes, it is now nothing but bones. He's like, huh, this is a material I haven't seen before. Because wyvern bones are different. Or dragon bones are different. They really are. They're nothing like anything he's ever seen. They're extremely durable, and they resisted the acid. Only the vital organs were damaged. So, the scales are there, the eyes, the organs, and the bone. No, not the bones. The eyes and the organs are gone. The bones and the scales still remained. It's like, huh, maybe I can make something out of this. You know what? Another time. So, I'm gonna say he walks back over to the gate, and he says, Commander. You know, he's like, Izuku, good to see you, my boy. Pats him on the shoulder. So, what are we dealing with? He says, not sure, sir. It seems to be an XK class event. No, not XK class. I'm trying to... Nah. He says, honestly, sir, I don't know. If I had to categorize it, I'd say it's another world event. And he's like, another world event? What's that supposed to mean? Basically, things from another world are entering through that portal. I took out everything that was on the other side while I was coming in, and there are about 5,000 souls. 30,000 soldiers. Goblin and around 10,000 goblins and like 80 wyverns, whatever that thing was, gesturing backwards to the wyvern he shot down. That's the only one I got past. He's like, that's the highest body count you've collected, sir. Alright, switch to civilian mode. Let Izuku talk. He says, sir, yes, sir. Also, Izuku does have a split personality. One is Soldier 73. No. 67. Soldier 67. And that's the one where it's like, alright, exterminate anything that intends to harm at all costs, button. And then there's Izuku, like, who's way more analytic. And anything, that he sees while in, soldier form can translate straight into Izuku's mind. Izuku, he tries to figure out what's going on. And when the soldier switches back to Izuku, Izuku's like, okay, Commander, I honestly don't know what's going on. This thing started appearing and my quirk activated, switching me to soldier form. It senses danger, so there's probably something big on the other side. Our best bet is to send me through. Send me with a platoon of about 100 men. About 100 men. About 2,000 men. We could probably patrol the area around it. If you want to, you can send heroes as well, but I'd highly advise against it. If we send in heroes, we don't know what would happen if their quirks started interacting with the environment. We might actually accidentally create quirked, or give our attackers quirks. Again, my quirk is very mutation. That's why I'm worried about emitter and transformation quirks. It makes me extremely nervous to send them in. As of right now, I say we only let mutations and quirkless soldiers through. Although that's my opinion. General. If you have any other ideas, it's up to you. But as of right now, I'm going to the other side. See what we're dealing with. And he says, good, understood. Here, take this. And he tosses him keys and he's like, what's this? Keys to a Humvee. Take it and go. He's got an AA gun on the back. Really? An anti-aircraft gun? You're giving me... Okay, you're now my favorite general. He's like, I should be. I trained your dad. He's like, oh, so that's why your two are so similar. Anyway, Izuku proceeds to get into the armored vehicle and goes to the other side of the gate. He's like, huh, completely barren. Well, not completely barren, there's grass and stuff. He's like, well, can't exactly stand for this. And he puts his backpack down, he presses a few buttons on the side, and then opens it, and then it starts, he's touching it, which causes it to start producing, like, basically anything you need for survival. He basically spits out, the backpack starts spitting out, like house materials, stuff for water filters, water gathering devices, weather control, weather things, anything you might need for survival. And the more specific, he has anything you would need for survival, anything. He's like, alright, I should be good. Although I do need to set up defenses by nightfall. Hey, Soldier, you can help me? He's like, okay. I'm gonna say he calls his other self, screw it, boss. He's like, hey, boss, can you give me a hand? And, boss is like, okay, sure. Switching controls, And then, Izuku, starts trying to figure out what exactly they're dealing with. Wow, before even, I'm gonna say they got there like 6, so the sun was barely rising. Before 10 o'clock, everything was set up. Now, that may be like, whoa, 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 whoa. Y'all may be like, whoa, 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 whoa. Hold up. How? And to that I say, his quirk, which is an emitter mutation quirk. So that's why he was the only emitter sent, because it's technically a mutation, so I doubt it would do anything. Which I'm gonna say, even if they sent emitters, it would absolutely do nothing. Okay. Anyway. So Izuku had begun walking. You know, after Soldier Boss was done, you know, setting everything up, he also set up a radio tower, which allowed him to communicate with the other world. And he says, "Sir, an entire camp has been set up on the other side." He says, "By enemies?" And he says, "No, I set it up myself." Anyway, ready for transfer. Send around 2,000 soldiers. I'll start patrolling the area. You know, and then he hears something in the distance. He's like, huh? You know, he looks away and he sees horses and like 10,000 men. He's like, oh crap. Send soldiers now! I need backup! And you know, they're like, what's going on? I'm about to be under attack. And when I say 10,000, I mean 100,000. Like, there's a lot of soldiers. Anyway. Grudge. I don't know where that went. Crap. So Izuku, you know, I'm also gonna say he can make body armor that can cover his entire body and is pretty much bulletproof. So yeah. The reason that all other powers are scared of Japan is just because of Izuku. Because if he wanted to, he could just make a nuclear bomb out of potassium. Because yes, to an extent, okay, y'all may be like, bro, now you're just BSing. I'm not BSing, because I looked it up before creating this video. I'm being honest, the radiation would kill you if you ate 4,000 bananas in 10 minutes. The radiation would kill you. Now, I know, like, yeah, no, yes, the radiation would kill you. No, I'm being honest, it would. I'm gonna say he can turn 40,000 bananas into a nuclear bomb. No, I'm just playing. Yeah, he can create bombs by using any material he wants. Considering he has matter manipulation, if he wanted to, he could probably turn all of the grass, all of the organic material or the air into, like, I don't know, stone? If he wanted to, like, in a certain area, like, he can specify how big of an area he wants, And that's why he's so dangerous, because if he wanted to, he could just turn an entire freaking continent into stone. And then everything would be screwed, and the the countries allied with Japan were the only ones who knew about Izuku until a few years after he was born, because he accidentally created a nuclear bomb. Yes, you can accidentally create a nuclear bomb. I'm just playing. But he accidentally blew up something, and that's when every other country found out about him. And then every other country knows not to screw with him. because they don't know the extent of his quirk, because the info has still not been released. So anyway, the moment the people start getting into the camp, they realize, like, holy crap, he set this up quick. He's like, alright, platoon, you in the back. He points to one of the, a group, and because they're split up into, like, 5 or 6 different groups, and he's like, you, group 1A, go to, I'm just gonna say, he says, group blank, go to area blank, and start doing this. And then he tells the other groups, like 2 other groups, to keep doing recon, while he orders the rest to go on the defensive and try their best to save at least one. Take his legs off for all he cares. He's like, and then everyone's like, understood, sir. Everyone's like, yes, sir, because he is higher rank than anyone they sent through, even the except for the admiral that was on the other side. Yeah, he's a lower rank than an admiral, but he's higher than a general. I don't know how that works. I honestly don't know many military rankings, but he is the best of the best. And when they try to promote him to, like, the highest rank you can receive in the military, he denied it so he would be able to stay on the front lines. Anyway, I'm gonna say, Izuku began, he took out, he started walking off out of the camp, and he said, halt! He had created some loudspeakers, and he's like, halt now! If you do not wish to die, turn around now! And they started shouting in an unlegible language, and he's like, huh, new language, huh? And then he immediately learns it after they say a few more words, because why not, make him more LP. And then he reiterates what he said in their language. He's like, turn around or you will be fired upon. And none of you will make it out if you're alive. Do you understand? And they're like, silence, you otherworlder! We will exterminate you! And, he's like, you have a total of 10 seconds to move out of the way, to vacate the premises, or you will be exterminated. 10! You hear guns clicking. 9! You hear some things starting to rev up. 8! 7! 6! 5! 4! 3! 2! He turns around and then he yells, fire at will! They're all confused, like, what? The world that they're in was basically like, huh? What is he talking about? Fire at will. And then the guns start blasting off as Izuku starts walking back into camp, and he's like, I tried to be peaceful. What am I supposed to do? The boss was like that. After taking out everything on the other, that was attacking them, he was like, alright, we need to get tanks out here. We need to start scouting the nearby area and slowly making our way outward. Okay, I have a plan. And they're like, yes, sir? 50 of you are coming with me. 49 of you are coming with me to make an even 50 group. The rest of you are going to stay here and slowly expand the base. You have more than enough resources if you just use the communication tower through the gate. If you want to ask to be transferred to the other side, you have my permission, but I would kindly ask that you ask the corporal first. besides me, he's the highest in command here. So if you have any major questions, if you have any questions about what you're supposed to be doing here, ask him. Although, if you ask something too classified, I will be involved and be forced to remove you from the premises. Is that understood? And they're like, yes, sir. They're like, good. I picked you, you, and you. You're all coming with me. And they're like, he takes a field medic and a few others, and they're like, yes, sir. You don't really have a choice. He's the highest ranking official there. So, once Izuku was, he and his group were driving down the road, and they ran into a few towns. He noticed that it's like, this is a medieval culture. And everyone's like, what? Breaker 19, we're dealing with, not Breaker 19, oh my god. He says, this is Soldier 79, 89, 87. We're dealing with what seems to be a medieval society that actually has access to magic and monsters. Our best bet would be to make diplomatic peace. How copy? And the only person besides, the leaders of the major Japan, like, the head honcho of the government, not the government, the military force in Japan tells Izuku, you're permitted to make friendly first contact. Although, if it turns hostile, you are permitted to open fire. He says, copy. He switches back to Izuku and he's like, alright, capital's about 100 miles that way. I strongly advise, and I mean strongly advise, that we try to avoid conflict at all costs. If we do manage to start a conflict, that could be the end of both of our worlds. And he's like, wait a minute. I just thought of something that I actually never thought of until just recently. He's like, what's that? We could use nukes here. It's just because Izuku's tired that he says this, and then they're like, what? We could use nukes here. There's no such thing as a Geneva Convention in another world. I don't think. Which, he's technically right. There's no law in that world that says, hey, you can't do that if they start using nuclear bombardments, because, they don't know what nuclear power is. So, he's technically telling the truth. So now they're like, wait a minute, we could use HE rounds. HE round bullets. Now, if you don't know what I mean, HE rounds normally are launched out of a tank, but and HE stands for high explosive. So now they can shoot high explosive rounds out of a guns. And he's like, yes, brother. We could use flamethrowers and a whole bunch of other crap. I have nearly infinite materials in this backpack. You name it, I can make it. Anyway, so they get to the first town, and, they